moon in Scorpio video. This moon is going to be happening coming up just a couple days. We're just a couple days away from it happening May 7th. Now, this particular moon is going to be happening at 17 degrees of Scorpio. So right out of the gate, if you've got your chart, you want to identify 17 degrees of Scorpio. Where does that hit? Where does that fall in your chart? If you don't have your chart with you, you can always pull a free one at astro.com. You can go to Cafe Astrology and get one. If you need to purchase a chart, you want to have one that you can keep forevermore with yourself, you can also click underneath this video and order a chart from me for $13. So whatever you do, just make sure you are identifying 17 degrees of Scorpio and also 17 degrees of Taurus, because those are the axes that we're going to be interacting with at this particular moon. So you want to know what they mean for you. Oh, how are you guys doing out there? Let's take a breath for a minute, let everybody get in here, and then we're going to start to talk about what is going on, what we're seeing, what is this going to bring into us. This is definitely when we have a full moon, it's always this identification of a little bit of a power struggle that's happening, because the actual aspecting of a full moon says my needs versus my wants are lit up, my polarities, I'm going in two different directions. This is an opposition, right? So in the opposition that we've got going on, what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to sort out is what's the best use of my energy, right? How do I resolve this particular conflict in order to come to some kind of balance? I need to come to balance within it, right? So your needs versus your wants, the polarities are absolutely on go. Hello, people that are coming in. It's very nice to see you guys here today. Thank you for taking a minute to jump in with me. All right, so I've pulled up the chart. Hopefully you're able to see this quite beautifully over on your side. And we see it's not too crazy of a moon. There are some aspects that are challenging, but we've also got helpers around this place as well. And I look forward to walking you through and pointing them all out to you. And we'll talk about the opportunities and kind of the holdbacks that maybe come with these placements. And as we do so, take a minute, close your eyes, ground down, right? And see how these are actually applying and showing up in your world, because some things will be global. Some things will not. Some things will just be personal. And it's like, where do I need to be able to adjust that particular or specific thing? Okay. All right. Full moon happening over here that we can see at 17 degrees of Scorpio in opposition to the sun. This is the actual aspect that creates a full moon. So the sun is over here in Taurus, shining bright. She's on chill, ready to just do the routine, right? To just be a part of whatever's normal. Remember, these are both fixed energies, but Taurus specifically does not like to be shaken, doesn't really like to move. So something has been pretty consistent for a fair amount of time. And Taurus likes peace and likes to keep things pretty easy, right? Let's not rock the boat. Let's be kind of easy, right? Now, on the other side of that, we've got this Scorpio energy, which Scorpio is fixed as well. But Scorpio is like, well, but maybe there's more here, because Scorpio is going to want to go to the depths of what's going on. Scorpio is like, we got to get deep and we've got to get honest about what's going on here. Now, in a moon, this is a full moon. So the moon on this side in this Scorpio energy is addressing our emotions. It's addressing things that maybe have been repressed, that we haven't talked about. Maybe things that it's a fear of death. It's a fear of loss. It's a fear of transformation and evolution, right? It's like Scorpio's like, we've got to change, but I can't pretend, Taurus, that everything's just okay over here. There is something that is going to have to shift if we're going to make it to the other side of this bad boy, right? And so Taurus is also very centered in its routine. So I think at this particular moon, one of the stories we start seeing is that Scorpio's like, Taurus, we got to tell a different story here. We got to get a different routine. What has been cannot stay the same for us, right? We can't stay fixed, Taurus, which telling fixed energies they can't be fixed is like, that's a big deal. So what's the helper that we look for as we're going through this pull? Remember, we're being pulled in two different directions. We are in pandemic time right now. Many people have been shifted. Globally, things have been shifted. They're not our normal and regular routines. And it's like, when is this going to go back to normal? And the answer, whether it be within your own home or it be out in the world, may be that it is not going to go back to normal, right? That could very much so just be the answer. but we maybe are having a little bit of a hard time with that. So drop that down to a personal level right there. Where do you feel like there's something that's been going on with you, or something in your life that you're just kind of still trying to hold on to it being the exact same way, even though on the other side there's this kind of idea, well, what if we just surrender? What if I surrender to win here, right? Think about what is that particular thing in your life, okay? Now, we've got another opposition happening from this moon that we can see all the way over here to Mercury. So Mercury and the sun here are in conjunction. This is a lot of thinking, right? They're thinking a lot. When Mercury and the sun get together, we're doing a lot of thinking. But goodness knows that in the energy of Taurus, we're thinking slowly, but we're thinking about value. We're thinking about things that create steady dependability for us. We're thinking about things that we enjoy, that bring us pleasure, right? Things that make us feel safe and secure. And very much so, we are thinking about things in our material world, because Taurus is an earth sign. It is a material in the world sign. So there's a lot of thinking going on, but these are challenging Scorpio over there in that opposition, who's saying, no, this can't stay this way. My insides I need to talk about this. I need to shed this. I need to reveal, right? I need to do any one of those things. So I need to let something happen. I need to let an evolution or a transformation happen in some way, shape, or form, okay? So again, we're looking at where do we resolve? Where do we find the compromise in the middle ground in order to take advantage of this change? Well, one of the ways that we're going to do that is right here. We're going to look at this trine to Neptune. Okay, now this moon is basically a watery energy working in the subconscious, unconscious, definitely in the emotions. And then it is in a trine, a nice pocket of opportunity, of ease, something we can lean into and use for our own benefit with another water energy. And Neptune here is saying to us, it's like this gentle whisper that's like, hold on, maybe you don't have to force change here. Maybe there's a creative, gradual way that we can work some changes in here. Maybe if you actually say what you need to say down there, if you don't repress what's going on, you'll get some freedom. And there's a compassionate way to do that. You don't have to go out being a screaming Mimi out in the world, right? You don't have to push so hard. There's an ease and surrender here that is actually available to you to make these changes. I also think that Neptune brings in this energy that is like, well, trust your intuition. What does your intuition say to you? Because remember, Taurus is a fixed energy. It is not going to be easily convinced to change its direction. But the good news is that once fixed energies do change their direction, they'll keep doing whatever it is that they were doing. It's the convincing to change direction. So in a gentle way, when we come to these places that we've been feeling stuck, or we've been feeling are not getting enough movement, we have the opportunity to soften and find fun, creative ways to kind of pry that situation out of our fixed energies hands and take the claw marks out of it. You know what I mean? So here, where you need change, what's a creative way, and how can you trust your intuition? How can you trust your dreams? If you angel channel, how can you trust a creative sense that is around you to help you out here? And I do want to address this really quick before I go through the rest of these. In this particular pop-up that I did, I had the node set to a different node. There's the true node and the mean node. Now, the nodes I traditionally work with have already moved on into the energy of Gemini and Sag, and that would have happened on May 4th. This one, I just didn't change it before I pulled it up again, you guys. So just know that those need to be adjusted just a little bit, okay? I'm aware, and I apologize, I didn't catch that before I popped it up here, but the rest of the aspects are solid. Okay, now we've got some other helpers here as well. From this beautiful Neptune energy here, we can see we've got a sextile to both this sun and this Mercury energy. Now, when the planets have sex, that is good for us because it is a pocket of opportunity that is not only available to us, but it's available and you will take action on it. You will move with this. This is important at this moon. When your polarities are lit up, you need to find the compromise. So here's a helper. Now, the sextile between Neptune and the sun, Mercury, again, is softening the mind a little bit. It is saying, trust me, I know you can't see it, but there is a way of ease out of here. There is a different way of thinking about this. It lights up and just completely turns on full blast your spidey senses, your intuition. You become so extra sensory aware of things at this particular moon that even if somebody in your house is navigating around you, you feel that there is an issue, or you feel that there is a conversation that needs to be had. So nobody has to walk into it into a fight. You can say, hey, I feel like something's going on, or what's happening here? Or if it's in your business, if it's even if it's with yourself and you're studying, you know, you're single, you got no business, you have nothing like that. This is a nice pocket of opportunity to gently be able to have the conversation. I think that it is also an opportunity too that makes our emotions safe. I think it is an energy that makes our emotions safe to explore and to experience with one another. So this sextile will be happy, joyous, and free and useful for you. So I actually feel like in total, this particular full moon is relatively useful for a fair amount of freedom. Now, as we are looking at the energies of this particular full moon being in Scorpio, we want to also see what its ruling planets are doing as well, right? So this moon at 17 degrees of Scorpio is ruled by both Pluto and by Mars. So we see Pluto up here is retrograde, right? 24 degrees of Capricorn, and it's connecting with both Mars energy over here, who is in the energy of Aquarius. Now, Pluto being flipped backwards, also connecting here in trine with our Mercury energy. This is a really nice energy here, because this is an energy where Pluto says, here's the old structure, here's the old way of doing things, which likely in that trine is connecting to Mercury, our thinking, right? And he says, it's okay to change, right? I'm going to show you why we need to transform, why something needs to die off so that something else can live here. So it helps you to shed the old ways of thinking, or the old ways of maybe even doing something. Like maybe that tradition fit very, very well in your life and now it doesn't fit. Or maybe you haven't been taking advantage of traditional things, right? Like, have you been gardening? Have you been going over your finances? Have you gone back to some very rooted, grounded ways of living that maybe it's time to bring those back? Pluto's in retrograde. He's saying, let's take this back. Let's look at it. And as he makes this connection here with Mars, I think it's really an energy of the people, of the individual adding to the people. And he's like, well, let's see if we can adjust some thinking, which will adjust our actions, Mars, and we can create something different here, right? Mars in the energy of Aquarius is the individual, is the energy of those two waves. Remember, they are waving. They look like they're together, but they are not, because that first wave is the individual, but then it's the bottom wave is the people. So Mars here is really the question of what's the individual doing? Where has the individual needed to innovate? Because again, look, we see this is very loose for me. This square is very loose. But it's that idea of where is this old thinking not working, or where is this old way of action not working for us, and we're going to be able to allow that innovation to come up. Venus is down there in the energy of Gemini, of our thinking, of our mind, of how we communicate, right? It is not yet retrograde at this point in the month. So as Venus is here, she's also showing us the value of our thinking, or the value of our writing, our value of communication. So I really think that at this particular moon, it's almost like if we will express and we will not repress, we have this opportunity to see the pathway forward from what was too stuck, too fixed, too set in one energy, in order to make our way forward. So all in all, you guys, I think a really nice, a really brilliant full moon, certainly one that's going to get into the depths of some things, right? It's going to get into the depths of energy. It's going to get into the depths of perception of things. And it's going to sit down there in the root. So if something has been hidden or been down there, you haven't been talking about, you haven't shed the information, or you haven't shed the emotions of them, I definitely think that this will be an energy that kind of gives you that pop over this next 4 weeks, which then, you know, in the next 4 weeks, we also run into the eclipse energies and a whole bunch of retrogrades. So this is the beginning of showing you a pathway forward. Now, the other thing that I also think about is that at the new moon that we had in Taurus, when you planted your seeds of intention for some ideas or to have a fresh start or something, this particular full moon is the response to that moon request that you made. You said, I'd like to have a new perspective or a fresh beginning in my Taurus energies, in my routine, in my food, in my value, in my money. And Scorpio full moon is saying, okay, here's where you're having a power struggle. Here's where you're stuck in the old and we need to surrender. Here's where you're literally in your own way. So this struggle over here is stopping us from having the ease of access over here. So let's resolve the struggle here. So bring that into your own world and see where can you drop your shoulders down just a little bit? Where can you put the power struggle to the side, ultimately to end up benefiting you and benefiting your situation, okay? All right, you guys, thank you for taking time. Thank you for taking a moment to be here with me, talk through what we can expect energetically at this particular moon. I look forward to you joining me on the upcoming Eat and Greets that are going to be happening here. We've got Terrence Gardino on the way here in just a couple days. Let's see who else is on the calendar. Maurice Fernandez will be here, Gemini Brett, Patrick Arundel, and Elizabeth Grace. They're all on the way. Not to mention, I just got confirmation from Annie Botticelli, and I'll be reaching out to Maria DeSimone as well. So if you've also got other people you would love to see on this channel having a conversation talking about the astrology or even teaching technique, put it in the comment section down below. I also want to know who you would like to meet and who you would like to learn from, not just people that are coming through my intuition, okay? All right, you guys, I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next videos. Bye, everyone.